नाम बिना नहीं जीवे अगर। नाम बिना नहीं जीवे अगर। नाम बिना नहीं जीवे अगर। वडे पाग गुरमुख हर पाए। नाम बिना नहीं जीवे अगर। नाम बिना नहीं जीवे अगर। वडे पाग गुरमुख हर पाए। नाम बिना नहीं जीवे अगर। नाम बिना नहीं जीवे अगर। मेरे मन तन प्रेम नाम आधार। मेरे मन तन प्रेम नाम आधार। नाम जपी नामो सुख सार। नाम जपी नामो सुख सार। नाम जपी नामो सुख सार। नाम बिना नहीं जीवे अगर। नाम बिना नहीं जीवे अगर। वडे पाग गुरमुख हर पाए। नाम बिना नहीं जीवे अगर। नाम बिना नहीं जीवे अगर। वाहिगुरु। नाम जपो मेरे साजन सैना, नाम जपो मेरे साजन सैना, नाम जपो मेरे साजन सैना, नाम नाम जपो मेरे ओ साजन, मेरे साजन सैना, ओ मेरे साजन, मेरे साजन सैना, नाम जपो नाम नाम, सतनाम वाहेगुरु, 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 वाहेगुरु 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 वाहेगुरु, वाहेगुरु वाहेगुरु, वाहेगुरु वाहेगुरु, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ 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 ਸਤਨਾਮ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਸਤਨਾਮ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਸਤਨਾਮ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਸਤਨਾਮ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਮ ਜਪੋ ਮੇਰੇ ਸਾਜਨ ਸੈਨਾ ਜੀ ਨਾਮ ਜਪੋ ਮੇਰੇ ਸਾਜਨ ਸੈਨਾ ਨਾਮ ਬਿਨਾ ਮੈਂ ਅਵਰ ਨ ਕੋਈ ਨਾਮ ਬਿਨਾ ਮੈਂ ਅਵਰ ਨ ਕੋਈ ਵਡੈ ਪਾਰ ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਹਰ ਲੈ ਨਾਮ ਬਿਨਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਜੀਵੇ ਅਜਾ ਨਾਮ
Hello everyone, hi, welcome to today's satsang. Hello. So today's Shabad is by anonymous singer. तू इस तरह से मेरी जिंदगी में शामिल है. Translation is such is your presence in my life. Then we have today's introduction by Michael. Then Prempal ji will talk about Sehaj, tranquility, that is intuitive peace. Then we'll have a short Dhyan session for 5 minutes. Then we'll play Master's YouTube video and then we'll do group meditation with love and devotion. Thank you so much. Let's start the Shabbat.
ये आसमान ये बादल ये रास्ते ये हवा ये आसमान ये बादल ये रास्ते ये हवा हर एक चीज़ है अपनी जगह ठिकाने से कई दिनों से शिकायत नहीं ज़माने से ये जिंदगी है सफ़र तो सफ़र की मंजिल है जहाँ भी जाओ ये लगता है तेरी महफिल है तू इस तरह से मेरी जिंदगी में शामिल है हर एक फूल किसी याद सा महकता है हर एक फूल किसी याद सा महकता है तेरे ख्याल से जागी हुई फिजाएं हैं ये वक्त ख्वाब है या प्यार की दुआएं हैं तू पास हो के नहीं फिर भी तू मुकाबिल है जहाँ भी जाओ ये लगता है तेरी महफिल है तो इस तरह से मेरी जिंदगी में शामिल है तेरे बगैर जहाँ भी कोई कमी सी थी तेरे बगैर जहाँ भी जहाँ भी जाऊँ ये लगता है तेरी महफिल है। तू इस तरह से मेरी जिंदगी में शामिल है। तेरे जमाल से रोशन है कायनात मेरी। तेरे जमाल से रोशन है कायनात मेरी। मेरी तलाश तेरी दिलकशी रहे बाकी। खुदा करे कि दीवानगी रहे बाकी। तेरी वफा ही मेरी हर खुशी का हासिल है। जहाँ भी जाऊँ ये लगता है तेरी महफिल है। तू इस तरह से मेरी जिंदगी में शामिल है। जहाँ भी जाऊँ ये लगता है तेरी महफिल है। तू इस तरह से मेरी जिंदगी में शामिल है।
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to satsang. Welcome to the circle of lovers, where all of us, the lovers of God, the lovers of divinity, the lovers of the perfect masters, sit together every day and bring that radiance, that energy, that blessings, and get showered and drenched in the colors of the Lord. Welcome, my dear holy brothers and sisters. And I was thinking, and I was talking to Sarah and brother Rohit, how lucky we are in this circle of lovers, that because our intention is only to develop spiritually and nothing else, our only intention is just to grow in God. And that's because of that good intention, that we have a good intention and God knows our hearts. Then He sends to us His dear souls, His lovers, His greatest lovers, He sends to us. That in this circle of lovers, we have so many advanced souls like Dr. Chand and Prempal Ji, Gregor, and Rohit, and Dwight, and so many God lovers. If I forgot somebody, please forgive me. So many God lovers that He brings to us. And those God lovers who have embedded the radiant form in their heart, who are so close to divinity, when we all sit together, it just radiates, and we all benefit from that radiance. Not only that, when two or more gather in my name, there I am, but it becomes very, very intense, like a volcano, when the real God lovers are there. When the real God lovers are there and we all sit together, imagine how intense and how a great blessing it is to be in that presence of the Lord. Anonymous, thank you for your beautiful, beautiful shabd. And in the anonymous, in her shabd, she was with her godly, soothing voice. She was saying that the presence of the Lord is with her all the time. And that is the good luck that we carry in this world. That when we walk in this world, we walk in the presence of the Lord. The presence of the Lord has become a part, an integral part of our life, that each moment we have gratitude to everything we see, because everything we see is coming from the Lord. Even a stone in our way has been put there for a certain reason, because it has the hand of God in it. He created it, He put it in our way. Everything that comes in our way has a purpose. Even our mind with its ugly thoughts sometimes, our mind with its ugly thoughts and everything, that is also a gift from God. That's why the saints say, befriend your mind. Befriend your mind and accept it, because it's a gift from the Lord. It's a gift from the Lord, and whatever comes our way, even the thoughts, are there to teach us something. All the events in life that come our way, it is coming from the Lord for our spiritual benefit, for our spiritual benefit. Whether that event is a good event or a bad event, it has been put in our life to advance us one step further towards God, one step further towards God. And this morning also, I was talking to Greg, our brother Greg Lavelle, and he was just going and going and explaining so many beautiful stuff. Such beauty, we are so blessed to also have him with us. And he was saying that some people advance in meditation while sitting on the cushion, and some people advance in meditation while they are in the world, while they are doing their work, while they are walking. They are also advancing in their meditation, because why? Because they are living in the presence of the Lord, and not just living the presence of the Lord, but feeling the presence, feeling the presence of the Lord every second of their life. So they're also advancing. It's not just the meditation on the cushion that advance us, Brother Greg was saying, but also life, life, just life that has been given to us from the Lord advance us. It advances us when we live in the Lord. When we live in the Lord, when we live in the presence of divinity every second, we're also advancing, because it's also meditation. Meditation, what is meditation? It's a simple, pointed concentration. Simple, pointed concentration. And this is what meditation means. And when we put our attention on something, we are meditating on that thing. So whether we are sitting on the cushion and putting our attention on the third eye, or whether we're in the world because we have to work and putting our attention on the divine, we are still getting the benefit. We are still getting the benefit, because wherever you think of the divine, then the divine is there. When we think of God, God is there. When we think of Master, Master is there. And when we meditate on Master, Master is there. So all what we have to do, no matter what we are doing, even in our dreams, try to add Master to our, even to our dreams, even to our dreams. And there were many instances in my life where I was dreaming, and in the dream I was kind of conscious, and I'm like, oh, I'm in a dream, I better meditate in the dream. And those are the best moments. Those are the best moments, and very beautiful things happen to us when we are in the dream, we start to think of Master and we start to meditate. It becomes very intense over there, even in the dream. So even in the dream, if we can just add Master to our life, in our waking life, we add Master. And when we meditate, we add Master. And whatever comes towards us in life, we just thank Master. We thank Master. And surrender everything to the God power. Surrender our inner self, but by surrendering, meaning not just putting our head on the Master's feet, but putting our inner self. Our inner self mean our whole being. our whole being, that I am nothing. I am nothing, and I can do nothing without you. And you are everything, and you can do everything for me. I surrender my being to you. You are my health. You are my finances. You are my money. You are my relationships. And you are everything that comes and faces me in this life. Even you are everything that faces me in the dream world and in the meditation world and in the higher spiritual region. You have created everything, and I surrender my whole being, not just from the outside to you, but from the deep within. From the deep within, we surrender to God's will. And when we surrender to God's will, then the surrenderer, like when two armies, one is conquered, and the one army wins over the other and takes control of the land of the other, then the army that wins have to take care of all the responsibilities of the land they conquer, that it becomes their land, and they have to take care of the people. The same thing when we surrender to God, a real surrender, I mean, a real surrender. The real surrender comes with time and patience, comes with time and patience. And I pray to God that one day I will surrender, the real surrenderance that the saints and masters talk about, that we are in the process of making. God is making us slowly. We are in the process, but there is a time that the saints talk about the real surrenderance, when you really put your head and surrender everything to the master power. That is the real luck, when we reach that stage of total surrenderance, because then when you surrender to God, then you get what all God has, that He has to be responsible for you in A to Z, and your ego goes away. At that time, our ego is annihilated, our ego is put to the side, and our ego, our individuality, merges with the totality. Our individuality merges with the totality of God. And that is the real surrender. That surrender I pray for every day. And every day I beseech the Master that I would love to reach that stage where my head really surrenders to your feet. Not just putting my head on your feet, but real surrenderance from that comes from deep within, when our ego merges with the ego of God. When our ego merges with the ego of God, then everything becomes God's will. Then we are living in God's will. We are living in His Moj. We are living in what He etched for us. We just surrender ourselves to the bigger will, the bigger will of God. And then life becomes totally different as He starts to do everything for us from A to Z. And as I was talking to Brother Greg, he was telling me that saints and masters, God does everything for them. He can even give them a new body. He can even recreate their body, take their body from existence. Like your body could be existing here, but you are like in samadhi, and you can go from existence to non-existence in the same second. Like, and then he was saying that then you could see God creating your body again. From such kind, you could see like how a new body has been formed for you, and a new memory and everything. So all miracles happen when we are on the path of God, and there is nothing impossible on the path of love. Nothing is impossible on the path of love. Everything is possible on the path of love. And Sant Kirpal Singh used to say that impossibility only exists in the dictionary of the fools, because everything is possible in God. And that is the most beautiful thing, when we see that God can do everything for us, that He can even tell us the decisions to make. The decisions to make will come to us in the form of intuitions, will come to us in the form of opening a book or a vision inside, or the inner master telling us what to do, that everything will become an answer. Everything will become an answer. We will have no questions, and we will just follow that inner intuition that's coming directly from our inner self and from God. And that way, we will just live so happily because God is doing everything for us. God is doing everything for us, and He is managing everything for us. He's probably for all of us here in this circle, the lovers of God, He is probably doing that already. He's doing that, but there is some curtain that has been not lifted yet, that we cannot see his hand working in everything. Once that curtain is lifted, or once we just start to listen to the heart, which is the soul, listen to our heart, which is listen to the language of the soul, which is coming from our inner master and our divinity. Once we start to listen to that, then there will be no questions, really. No questions. As Ishwarji said, that for every question that comes out of our mouth, the answer is already there hidden. The answer is already there hidden. And if we ask a second person and he answers us, and if we don't agree with his answer, we will say, But when we agree with his answers, yes, you are right. That's it. So the answers are, all the answers are inside of us. And all what we have to do is just live in the presence of the divinity, live in the presence of God, and let those answers be answered naturally without even having to ask a guru, without even have to ask anyone. Because where is the guru? The guru is inside of us. The guru is inside of us. The inner guru is inside of us. And all these questions that we have, we can ask our inner guru. As we grow in God, the inner guru could start talking to us directly, or we could even see him in the outside world as we see him from the inside world, or he can even give us the answers in so many ways, in thousands and thousands of ways. He can give us the answer. As Ishwar Puriji even said, like even when you're driving, the answer will come on a billboard, or you will open a book and the answer will there. So there's so many ways that we can just understand the language of God, the language of love, the language of the soul, and the language of the heart of the hearts, that it will start speaking to us once we allow it. We have to allow it. How do we allow it? How do we allow it? By living in the presence of the Lord moment after moment after moment in our life. Living in the presence of the Lord not only answers our questions, but living in the presence of the Lord every moment means happiness. Happy are those ones who have God in their heart. Happy and happy and happy are the ones, and full of joy and full of smiles, always smiling, are the ones who have God in their heart. When we live in this world and we're always smiling and we're always happy, when you compare yourself how you were when you were not living in the presence of God every second, and how angry you used to become, how lustful, and how the mind used to just drive you here and there, and compare yourself now, even before perfection, but while we are still on the way, and we are still thinking, when was the last time I got angry? And you cannot remember when was the last time you got angry. That means there is great progress. When we cannot remember when we were last angry and we were always happy, then that means our soul is progressing. And the happiness of God and the joy of God, as the saints and masters say, that it keeps increasing and increasing and increasing, till, like Rumi said, that if all the drunks in the world will just taste one drop of the elixir and the real intoxication that the saint tastes, then all the drunks in the world will want to become godmen. All the drunks in the world will want to become godmen. And that is a big, big blessing. And that will come. That will come to all the God lovers. I once asked Ishwar Puriji, I went to his office and I said, Master, am I gonna get the godly drugs? And he said, absolutely, absolutely. That's all what he said to me. Absolutely. That word absolutely makes me already intoxicated. Just thinking that it's gonna come, thinking it's gonna come, makes me already happy, enjoy, and intoxicated. Because whatever a perfect master says, like Ishwar Puri Ji, whatever they say, it has to come true. It has to come true because it's coming not from the human body, but it's coming from whatever lives in them. Their soul has merged with God. They have become total. So when they talk to us, we are talking to totality of consciousness. We are talking when we talk to a perfect living master. We are talking to totality of consciousness. Whatever they answers us is coming directly from totality. My master Santakar Singh used to say that, do you know who is looking at you when master is looking at you? Do you know? It is Father God. Father God is looking at us when master is looking at us. When I say father, I mean also a mother and a brother and a sister and everything. I mean totality. Totality is looking at us. How lucky we are. How lucky we are, the circle of our love, that we have met the perfect one, and not only one perfect one, but we have met more than one perfect one in our life, and we just live. We, my master Santakar Singh used to say that if master just smiles at you once, your whole eternity will be full of smiles. Your whole eternity will be full of smiles. And we have spent so much time. I have spent so much time with Santakar Singh and so much time with Ishwar Puri Ji. He smiled at us. He touched us. He hugged us, and we are so lucky. Our whole eternity will be full of smiles, and our whole eternity will be forever dance. This is the great luck that we have struck, the great luck of God that we have struck. Why? Because we loved God. We loved God more than we loved the world. Once you start to love God more than you love the world, even if it's by 1%, 1%, that scale starts to tip towards God, even by 1%, then we are dashing towards divinity. We are dashing towards God. As the if the scale is like this, and we are loving the world as much as we are loving God, then we are still holding ourselves. But if the scale starts to tip even by 1% towards the God power, towards the master power, and towards divinity, then we start to dash towards God. Then we are under the gravitational magnetic force of the divine, and that divine will start to pull us towards its core. And once it starts to pull us, ultimately, sooner or later, we will merge. Sooner or later, the urge to merge will be satisfied totally. The urge to merge will be satisfied, and our thirst will be quenched, and we will be totally just living in God. We will be in this world, but our inner self is living in God, and it will be a totally different life when part of us is immersed in God and is in the kingdom of God, yet we are still walking in this world. Imagine, 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 and imagine. That cannot be probably imaginable. That cannot be describable of the situation and that of a person who has merged his inner self with God. I pray to that. I pray to that day to myself that I one day will reach that, and I will, because Ishwarji said that. And I pray to all of us that we all, and it's written on our soul. I don't even have to pray. It will happen to all of us sitting here because we're all initiated. Everybody who's initiated has to reach his true home at some point. So it will happen. It will happen. But all what I'm saying is the sooner it happens, that means we will be in more and more and more joy, in more and more and more joy. We will just be laughing and we will not be able to stop our laughter from within. That our inner laughter, which spills to the outside and becomes an outer laughter. But the inner laughter, it starts from inside. It starts from inside. The inner laughter spills and becomes an outer laughter. And if anybody have ever experienced the inner laughter, that is the experience of God laughing in you. That is the most beautiful experience ever, ever, ever to be had. To have experienced the inner laughter of God that spills to the outside. And our smiles outside is also a reflection from the smile inside. That is also coming from within. We are smiling within. Once we are smiling within, why are we smiling within? Because we are with the inner master. We are happy. When we are smiling from within, it comes also to the outside, and our whole outside world will also be smiles. So this is my introduction for today. Uh, f- Thank you, Master, for the seva and forgive me for all my mistakes. And I'm so happy to have so many beautiful souls here in our midst. So many beautiful souls, just godly souls, godly souls. All of us here are probably the luckiest souls in this world, really. The people who have went through so many, graduated so many masters, and even and came to Ishwarji, and and are just so blessed that we are rich. We are billionaires in God. Billionaires in God, that's what we are. This is our situation. We are rich in God, rich in Master, rich in the kingdom of God, and we are sitting on an open well of riches, and we just keep collecting. How do we keep collecting? By living in the presence of the Lord every moment, and by just repeating the name of God, repeating the name of God with love and devotion, with deep love and devotion, not just mechanical, but with deep love. We repeat the name of God, and when we repeat the name of God with love and devotion, that also includes all the other attributes of God, which is gratitude, humility, and all these beautiful things are included in the love of God when we repeat His name in love and devotion. All the other attributes are attached to the love because love encompasses all the attributes, beautiful attributes of God, of compassion and humility and all those beautiful things, the divine attributes of God. Okay, so thank you, Master, for the seva. I really am thankful for the seva. Now I welcome my dear brother Prempal Ji, and I hope one day he will give us live satsang. I know he's with us and stuff, but I want to see him and get that energy too, more than just a recording.
Radha Swami, everyone. My today's topic is Sahaj. Sahaj Avastha or Sahaj. What is the meaning of Sahaj is balance, peace, tranquility, intuitive peace. I'm not talking about peace of mind. Sahaj is something that belongs to the soul. That belongs to soul. Soul. That means you can only experience Sahaj or intuitive peace beyond time and space. Beyond time and space. That means it's not a game of mind or physical body or sensory body. It is something that we experience when we cross everything. It cannot be experienced with the physical body, astral or causal body. It is something beyond time and space. Sahaj, intuitive peace, not a peace of mind, a peace, the experience that we get when we cross our mind. Sahaj means crossing the mind, and the soul will wake up and your soul will experience that Sahaj. Sahaj. What is Sahaj? Sahaj cannot be experienced in physical, astral, causal. It can only be experienced by a soul beyond time and space. As Guru Amardas Ji says, ਤ੍ਰੈ ਗੁਣਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਹਿਜ ਨਾ ਪਾਈਏ, ਤ੍ਰੈ ਗੁਣ ਭਰਮ ਭੁਲਾਈ, ਪੜੀਏ ਗੁਣੀਏ ਕਿਆ ਕਥੀਏ ਜਾ ਮੁੱਢੋ ਖੁੱਬਾ ਜਾਈ, ਚੌਥੇ ਪਦ ਮੇ ਸਹਿਜ ਹੈ ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਪੱਲੇ ਪਾਈ. Guru Amardas Ji Maharaj wrote a beautiful Shabad, the full Shabad, verses on this very long Shabad on Sahaj. Here the third Guru, Guru Amardas Ji, talking beyond time and space. There is no mind, there is no sensory body beyond mind and Maya. Sahaj is beyond mind and Maya. Here, third Guru Amardas Ji said, you cannot experience this in Trigun. What's Trigun? Trigun is Rajo, Tamo, Sato. That's known as Trigun. Three qualities. All the creation we live in, they are in three qualities. So Trigun and 5 elements. 5 elements and 3 qualities. These 3 qualities are Rajo, Tamo, Satogun. Raj, Tam, Sat. And what is Raj, Tam and Sat? Let's start with Raj. Rajo. This creation is in Rajo, Tamo and Sato and 5 elements. And 5 elements. We already know it. What is Rajo? A person who would like to live like a king, enjoy everything. That means a materialistic thing. He like to make money, he like to do this, he like to do this, he like to do this. Ishwar Puri Maharaj Ji already gave a satsang on this in Punjabi. Then someone came to him and said, "Yeah, I'm happy here. Why should I get initiation?" Then Baba said, you don't have to get initiation, not for you guys who are Rajoguni, who like to experience or enjoy the life here. Who like to enjoy the life here in the materialistic. Who want to stand in mind and Maya, those Rajoguni, those people, they don't need initiation. They like to live like a king, how to make money, how to do, desires, tamanna, all these things will come in your mind. All these 3 guna or 3 guna is in the realm of mind, in the realm of mind. Sahaj is beyond mind. Sahaj is beyond time and space. And all these 5 elements and 3 guna, they Rajtam Sato, these are in the realms of mind. As a matter of fact, mind is the main ledger. Mind control everything. Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ahankar, Raj, Tam, Sat. Whatever you can think of. Because thinking is the function of the mind. Thinking is not a function of the soul. The function of the soul is only love. True love. True love. reasoning, thinking, all these things belongs to the mind. And mind only operates in time and space, and the creation up to universal mind or Brahm belongs to Niranjan or is in time and space. Does not matter either you are in a physical body, astral body, causal body, you are still in a time and space. You still in the realms of mind. Here, Guru Amar Das Ji says, ਤ੍ਰੈ ਗੁਣ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਹਿਜ ਨਾ ਪਾਈਏ, ਤ੍ਰੈ ਗੁਣ ਭਰਮ ਭੁਲਾਈ. But ਭਰਮ ਭੁਲਾਈ means illusion. That means whatever is in time and space is nothing but an illusion. What is illusion? Maya. And how far the time and space goes? As my brother, all giving us a satsang. How far the realms of time and space goes? How far? Up to Brahm. Up to Brahm. Up to Brahm. And what it says, ਤ੍ਰੈ ਗੁਣ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਹਿਜ ਨਾ ਪਾਈਏ, ਤ੍ਰੈ ਗੁਣ ਭਰਮ ਭੁਲਾਈ. ਬਸ ਭਰਮ ਭੁਲਾਈ. Illusion. That means not stable. Not stable. Not stable. Whatever is in time and space will change. Whatever is beyond time and space will not change. ਪੜ੍ਹੀਏ ਗੁਣੀਏ ਕਿਆ ਕਥੇ ਜਾਂ ਮੁੰਡ ਕਰ ਜਾਈ, ਚੌਥੇ ਪਦ ਮੇ ਸਹਿਜੈ ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਪੱਲੇ ਪਾਈ. Guru Amar Das Ji says, once you cross time and space, चौथे means the fourth, physical, astral and causal. Remove three covering when you go to the fourth one beyond time and space. चौथे पद में सहजै गुरमुख पल्ले पाई. That means can only be attained with the help of a Gurmukh, with the help of a perfect living master. You cannot go beyond time and space without perfect living master. You can cross some journey. You can cross some journey. But you cannot go beyond time and space without a perfect living master. And when you go beyond time and space, there is no mantra, no mind, material, no physical, astral, causal. Then what is there? Then what is there? What is Sahaj? In Sahaj only soul. Then what do you experience there? As Hajur Maharaj Baba Sabar Singh Ji used to say, the path of the master starts from far from beyond time and space. That means when you leave your physical, astral and causal body, then you experience everything. That means here, great master Baba Sabar Singh is talking about the soul only. Not the physical body, not the sensory or all those things. Here Baba Sabar Singh Ji is telling us our reality, experience, who we are. My last talk was on self-realization. Self-realization starts after Par Brahm, beyond time and space, so is the Sahaj. Sahaj means self-realization, beyond time and space. And all these three guna, Rajo, Tamo, Sato. Rajo people like to live like a king, enjoy the life, stuck in a materialistic thing. And Sato means the people like to go to satsang, like to do a good karmas and all those things. All those things. But still, all these things belongs to mind. Belongs to mind. Mind does not go beyond time and space. Only thing that go beyond time and space is our soul, is our Atma. And what is the difference between Atma and Paramatma? No difference at all. No difference at all. No difference. Atma, Paramatma, Same thing. What is the meaning of Paramatma, the first soul? Param means the first. There is only one soul. That's it. And then who he are? That first soul is Paramatma. He decided to become from one to many to start his game in time and space. As long as we are in time and space, we will feel a duality. And once we cross time and space, go to Par Brahm and Sahaj, then we will experience there is no difference between me, between soul and God. Whatever. Whatever. Sahaj. Sahaj. That means we can experience that only. ਸਹਿਜੇ ਨੂੰ ਸਭ ਲੋਚਦੇ ਬਿਨ ਗੁਰ ਪਾਏ ਨਾ ਜਾਈ ਪੜ ਪੜ ਪੰਡਤ ਜੋਤਸ਼ੀ ਥੱਕੇ ਭੇਖ ਭਰਮ ਭੁਲਾਈ ਗੁਰ ਭੇਟ ਸਹਿਜ ਪਾਇਆ ਆਪਣੀ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਕਰੇ ਰਜਾਈ ਭਾਈ ਰੇ ਗੁਰ ਬਿਨ ਸਹਿਜ ਨਾ ਹੋਈ ਸ਼ਬਦੇ ਹੀ ਤੇ ਸਹਿਜ ਉਪਜੇ ਹਰ ਪਾਇਆ ਸੱਚ ਸੋਈ Guru Amar Das Ji Maharaj says, here Guru Amar Das Ji is talking about beyond time and space. Everybody trying to experience that. The thing is, sometimes you experience something, who think we're in such kind? No. We're in the realms of mind and all those things. The Sahaj is when you cross everything, when you're beyond time and when you are beyond Brahm, when you go to Par Brahm, when you go to Dasmadwar, then you know what it is. That is pure level of consciousness. Pure level of consciousness. As long as you are in Brahm, you are still in time and space. You don't understand meaning of Sahaj or in due to peace. There is a peace of mind, peace of body, but there is something, the eternal peace, that is what we experience with the soul. What we experience with the soul. And Sant Tukaram Ji wrote a very beautiful verses or shabd. Tukaram Ji say, ਤ੍ਰੈ ਗੁਣੀ ਸਰੀਰ ਇਹ ਮੇਰਾ ਬੰਧਨ ਤੋਂ ਨਿਰਬੰਧ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਤ੍ਰੈ ਗੁਣੀ ਸਰੀਰ ਇਹ ਮੇਰਾ ਬੰਧਨ ਤੋਂ ਨਿਰਬੰਧ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਤੁੱਕਾ ਕਹੇ ਇਹ ਜੋ ਕੁਛ ਹੁਆ ਉਪਕਾਰ ਦਇਆ ਤੇ ਸਭ ਕੁਝ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਸਿਰਫ ਇਹੀ ਜਾਣਾ ਦਾਤਾ ਮੈਂ ਸ਼ਰਨ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ Here Tukaram Ji says that I never could realize what is beyond these 5 elements or 3 guna or 3 qualities. Here Tukaram Ji says the only thing I could experience in my physical body was attachment and all those things. When I connected with the light and sound meditation, then Triguni Shrir e mera bandhan to nirbandh ho gaya. That means that I got to detach. I get to the astral body. Tukka kahe, ye jo kuch hua, upakar daya hai sab thwadi. मैं ਤਾਂ ਸਿਰਫ ਇਹੀ ਜਾਣਾ ਐ ਦਾਤਾ ਮੈਂ ਸ਼ਰਨ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ Tukaram Ji say, only thing I know, Master, I surrender myself to you. That's all I experience. The Sahaj or intuitive peace. And what happened in intuitive peace? Intuitive peace or Sahaj cannot be experienced with the physical, astral, or causal. It can only be experienced with the soul. Soul, when you go beyond time and space. When you go beyond time and space or Paramatma, Dasmadwar, what happened there? नौ दरवाजे धावत रहाए 10वें निज कर बासा पाए ਉੱਥੇ ਅਨਹਦ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਬਜੇ ਦਿਨ ਰਾਤੀ ਗੁਰਮਤਿ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਸੁਨਾਵਨੇ। Then you listen to the sound current. ਨੌ ਦਰਵਾਜੇ ਨਵੇਂ ਦਰ ਫੀਕੇ ਰਸ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ 10ਵੇਂ ਤਵੀਜੇ। When you get there, we get the Amrit, we see the radiant form of the Master, who the self-realization start from beyond time and space. The Sahaj start from there. When you go to Sachkhand, that's the highest level of Sahaj or self-realization. When you go to Sachkhand, then you will see, oh my God, what is the difference between you and me? We were the same as last time. Tohi mohi mohi tohi antar kaisa. There is no difference. It is nothing difference. You just created this game and I was trapped in this game in time and space. But in reality, there is only one soul. The same soul, it's a game. Same soul. What's the difference between your soul and soul of your Satguru and the Vaheguru? No difference at all. Same thing. If you bring, I told that thing in many of my Punjabi satsang. If you go to an ocean and you bring some water and check it, what will be the analysis? H2O. Whatever is in the ocean, same is in the drop. Whatever is in the drop, same is the ocean. Atam mein Ram, Ram mein Atam. Chin sukur bichara. That's self-realization. That's Sahaj. Then when you experience Sahaj, what happens? What happened? When Meera experienced that Sahaj, when Sarmad experienced that experience, when other saints experience that, what happened? We have to go through everything. As Saint Rabidas ji says, फल कारण फूली बन राय, फल लगा तो फूल बलाए, ज्ञाने कारण कर्म अभ्यास, ज्ञान हुआ तो कर्म नाश. Here Saint Rabidas ji say, फल कारण फूली बन राय. If there is no tree, there will be no branches, there will be no roots, there will be no tank, there will be no leaves, there will be no flower or fruit. That means Vaheguru Paramatma created the creation. That's how the game started. Phal karan phuli ban rai. There is a tree. Tree has the roots and the tana or the tank, then the branches, then the leaves, then the flower. When the fruits comes out of that tree, the flower will fall. It drops down. Why? Because the final destination of a fruit tree is to get the fruit. The final destination of our soul is to go back to Sachkhand, to get the fruit. What is the fruit? Said, फल कारण फूली बन राय, फल लगा तो फूल बुलाए, ज्ञाने कारण कर्म अभ्यास, ज्ञान हुआ तो कर्म नाश. Here Saint Rabidas ji says, at the physical astral level, when I read all the book, I got the knowledge, Gyan. Then I tried to fix my karmas, to good karmas. That's Satogun. Gyane karm vyas. Gyan hua to karma nash. Here Saint Rabidas ji says, when that sound current open up, when I got to the Sahaj or beyond time and space, all my karmas were burned out. Burn out. Burn out. And the Meera ji, who was the disciple of Saint Ravidas ji, she says she was a queen. She had everything. But in Vani she is saying, Payori mohe Ram Ratan Dhan Payori. Payori mohe Ram Ratan Dhan Payori. She is talking about a wealth, what she got. And she was a queen. She had a palace, everything. What kind of wealth she got? Payori mohe Ram Ratan dhan payori. What kind of wealth she got and where she got it from? Then she said, Jab se Raidas Guru mile hain. When I find my master Guru Ravidas ji, he gave me the initiation. Then I realized, but the real wealth is. And where the Sahaj starts? Sahaj does not start at physical assistant causal level. Sahaj, this start beyond time and space. What is beyond time and space? Only thing that work beyond time and space is love and devotion. No mantra will take you there. Mantra, you can repeat it with your tongue. Contemplate, you can use your mind. Beyond time and space, there is no mind, no sensory body. What you will do there? You have no tongue, you have no physical body, you have no mind. What you gonna do there? What is there? Oh, love and devotion. God, breathe. There's only Satguru there waiting for you in a radiant form. Time and space. Only master. Not a master in physical form. Astral causal. Master in a form that's Shabbat. The same Shabbat. Who created everything? Same Shabbat. The master waiting for you. Master may live in a physical form. It's nothing. 5 elements. The radiant form of a master has no elements at all. Something. Same master. What's the difference between that master and God? No difference. And what's the difference between soul, God, and your master? No difference at all. Nothing. Nothing. No difference. No difference at all. Remove the covering. My master waiting. Mind. He is waiting for his. My beloved sister Bhavani ji says, Ishwar Papa. Of course. Of course. Of course, he is waiting for us to pick us up. Pick up us. Go to your Papa as Bhavani. My beloved sister say Bhavani. Ishwar Papa, of course, he is our dad. Tumi ho mata pita, tumi ho bandhan parata, tumi ho. He is our everything. He is everything. He is everything. When you see him inside in a radiant form, but when you go beyond time and space and Sahaj, that's a different story. That's a different story. What happens there? Anil haq azlave mansoor shisha kul kul kar. Then you will realize there is no difference. There is no difference. ਜਿਉਂ ਜਲ ਤਰੰਗ ਉੱਠੇ ਪਉ ਪਾਤੀ ਵੇ ਸਲੜੇ ਸਲਲ ਸਮਾਇੰਦਾ. We feel ourselves different. Why? Why we feel that we lost the kingdom? We never lost the kingdom. We're still in Sachkhand. We lost the awareness. We're still there. We lost the awareness. Why we lost the awareness? Because of our physical body, mind and material. Once you cross this physical body, mind and material, you will see, oh my God, I was still here. As Saint Ravidas ji wrote a very beautiful shabd on this. Narpat ek sangasan soya, sapne bhaya bukhari. Vishrat Raj bahut dukh paya, so gat bhai hamari. Saint Ravidas ji says, a king who was sitting on a throne, he went to sleep. And he had a dream that he lost his kingdom. And all of a sudden, he was dreaming. He realized that he lost his kingdom. He is a beggar. Supane bhaya bhikhari. Bhikhari means beggar. At the physical level, we are beggar. Why we are beggar? Because we haven't crossed the physical level. Once you cross the physical astral, you will say, you're not a beggar, you're a king of the kings. You belong to that kingdom. You belong to that kingdom. Your dad is there. That belong. You belong to that kingdom of God. You belong to the big emperor. It's yours. Then why we are crying? Because we are stuck in physical astral and causa. Once you experience Sahaj, then you will know. Sapne beha Bukhari, as Saint Ravidas ji says, a king sitting on a throne went to sleep. He saw a dream. What he saw in a dream? Supne beha Bukhari, he is begging. And Bhai Gurdas ji wrote a very beautiful purpose on that. That Bukhari, the king who was begging, he was begging, running all over. There's no food. There's a langar seva going on somewhere. He went there, asked them, give me food. He said, bring something. Who can put the food in? He ran all over, pick up some broken pot. He said, put it there. They put the food there. Then the dog came, he snatched the food. When the dog snatched the food, the king wake up. When he wake up, what he realized? Oh my God, I'm still sitting on my throne. I still have my kingdom. I'm still a king. Then what is going on here? We are still kings. Begumpura, Sachkhand belongs to us. Our dad, as Bhavaniji says, our dad, his palace belongs to us. We have to wake up. We have to wake up at the level of physical, astral and causal. When we wake up at the Sahaj, at the spiritual level, we will see. We are still in Sachkhand, but we lost the awareness. We lost the awareness. As Sai Bulle Shah ji says, I'm still here. I'm not gone anywhere. Why you don't experience this thing? As Sai Bulle Shah ji says, Marfat Tariqat Bulla Shah Sach Hun Bolle Sacha Tariqat Folle Gal Chothe Pad di Khole Jahan Shura Shrikat. Here Sai Bulle Shah ji says, living at physical astral and causal, Shriyat Tariqat after all those things. I gave a satsang on those Sufism. That's these things belongs to Tariqat. All those Tariqat belongs to our physical things. But beyond time and space, there is Marfat. What is Marfat and Hakikat? Marfat means through someone. You have to have a master who can take you to Hakikat, means the truth, kingdom of God, or Sachai, or reality, or self-realization. Self-realization, there is no way you can experience self-realization without a perfect level master. Why? What is the point here? Can you get self-realization through your mother, mom, dad? No. They don't even know anything. Self-realization or Sahaj belong to soul. Only the perfect living master who gone beyond time and space, he is the only one who can help you how to experience Sahaj, self-realization. Self-realization. Self-realization or Sahaj has nothing to do with the physical, astral and causal. It's the function of the soul. Only soul can experience this thing. And soul only experience the highest level of consciousness when the soul go beyond time and space or Paramatma. Beyond Paramatma. Paramatma. From where? Hazur Maharaj Baba Sabar Singh used to say, the path of the master starts from Parparam. Parparam. That is Sahaj. That is Sahaj. Please accept my seva and forgive all my mistakes. Please accept my seva, forgive all my mistakes. Radha Song.
Thank you, Prampalji, for the beautiful seva. And now we could meditate for a few minutes, and I'll play a video of Ishwarji. So looking forward for the beautiful words of our Holy Father.
Friends, welcome to this third day, the last day of this 3-day program in Stockholm, Sweden. Very happy that I got this chance to spend these few days with you in very nice, lovely weather, lovely environment, and great seekers sitting in this audience. And we are all co-travelers on the same path. And it doesn't matter what path you have been following. It doesn't matter which route you took. They say all roads lead to Rome. Here all roads lead to Sachkhand. All roads lead to the same destination we're all traveling on. And we take different routes depending on where we are being taught things, where we grow up. All those factors bring us into different environments and different situations. But ultimately, when our seeking is for our true home, we end up at the same place. So one should not bother too much that why I did not find this, why I did not go that way, why was on this path for so long. It doesn't matter at all. Everything adds up to the same thing. What is being added up is the fact that our seeking is being responded to by circumstances allowing us to keep on seeking and finding. We are storing our seeking stage by stage, step by step, until we are ready. And at that stage, we are automatically met by a perfect living master. We don't have to search for a perfect living master. When we are ready at that stage and have accumulated enough of experiences through seeking, the perfect living master appears in our life by coincidence. And at that time, we take a little time to find out who he is. Ultimately, what affects us really the most is that here is a person who has unconditional love for us, has no judgment, which looks like a different experience we have had with ordinary people. Though a perfect living master as a human being is just like any other human being. There's no difference at all. Born the same way, dies the same way, lives the same way, eats, drinks, and falls sick the same way, takes medicine the same way, and goes through the same karma we all go through. There's no difference. The only difference is in the awareness of such a person, that he is aware of who we are, he is aware of the totality of consciousness, and he is at all times aware of it. Not only when he has access to it, but at all times. Therefore, he can speak to us from any level he wants to, depending upon which level we are at. If we are at the beginner stage, he'll talk to us like a beginner. If we are at an advanced stage, he will talk to us advanced stage. If you already made a lot of progress, he'll touch right upon that point where we have made progress. So that is why he becomes a great friend of ours, because we share our values, we share our thoughts and our feelings, and we share our seeking. So that is why he becomes a friend and a co-traveler. He does not say, I am superior to you. He does not say, I am better than you. Indeed, sometimes he's not better than us, he's like us. Therefore, it's not a claim that he's better or worse or something. It's that we are going to the same destination. I have just had a look at the destination earlier than you, and we will go together. I can be a little guide for you because I've seen the destination. I've seen the various obstacles that come in the way, and together we'll be able to work out how to get rid of those obstacles. How does this all work? It depends on our karma. Karma is that great theoretical model set up by which everything can be explained. I love people when they tell me, some good thing happened, we won a lottery, good karma. Oh, it was very bad, we got disappointed, this happened, bad karma. Karma explains everything, and we make good use of it. In the Eastern philosophy, we are always using karma to explain everything. Therefore, nobody can blame anybody, nobody can say it's your karma. So what can you say? But the truth is, karma is such a deep reality for us at this stage that we live only through karma. There is no other way to be alive as a human being or to be alive in any life form without karma. Again, remembering Krishna, Lord Krishna, who is worshipped as the incarnation of Lord Vishnu, the god of sustenance in Hindu mythology, when he was a child, he was taking care of cows. He was a cowherd. And he used to go out, take the cows out, feed them, and bring them back at home. And he had a friend who used to go with him, a little boy named Udo. So he used to talk to Udo on the way. And one day he said, Udo, you cannot understand the nature of karma. Karma is something that does not spare anybody. And then he pointed out to an ant that was crawling around. He says, Udo, do you see this ant crawling? He says, yes, I do. This ant has once been Brahma, the creator of this universe. This ant has another time been Indra, one of the large heavens in the astral plane, and has governed that. Today, he's an ant because of the law of karma. Karma does not spare those who have reached that level. Karma does not spare anybody, no matter how high you have gone in the three worlds which are governed by the mind and the negative power we call Kal or time. So long as we are in this grip of time, grip of Kal, the negative power is time here holding us down. And so long as we are in the grip of this, there is no way of escaping. Because the law of karma postulates that if you do something good, you will be rewarded. And if you do something bad, you are punished. And who makes it up? Our own conscience. It's so perfect. Our own conscience decides all the time what is good and bad for us. And depending upon our intention based upon that conscience, we create good and bad intentions and deeds. And therefore, we follow and get the results of punishment and reward. It does not mean that if you have done something bad, you can say, now I'm going to do a lot of good and atone for it. There are a lot of Indian astrologers who think you can atone for it. That is because they ask for a lot of money to atone for you. They say, give us so much of wheat, so much of rice, so much of this, and a lot of money, and we'll pray for you and get all your sins forgiven. There are also other religions that provide for this, for confessions, and your sins are forgiven. All these are things that are set up by us. Institutions have been set up by us. The truth about karma is that there is no cancellation of one karma by another. You cannot say, I've done a bad thing, now I'll do a good thing, it'll cancel. No, you will be punished for bad thing, rewarded for good thing, one after the other. That is why when you see human life, you see there is so much in it that's high and low. We go through periods of happiness, we go through periods of unhappiness. We go through periods of good health, we go through periods of bad health. We go to periods of great affluence, we go to periods of much less of that. So all these sine curves up and down that go through our life is because of our karma. And karma dictates what kind of life we will have. We accumulate our karma and we believe it is our karma because we acted in a certain way, therefore we are being punished, or we did something good, therefore we are being rewarded. So the law of karma does not say you will be cancelled if you do good things, and therefore we continuously come here, sometimes having good times, sometimes having bad times. Now there are some situations where we can have very bad times. For example, if we have done really horrible things our entire life, then we don't come back here. We go into one of the hells created for that punishment purposes in the sub-astral plane. The astral plane has two lower and higher levels, and all these are within the lower level of our astral plane. That means when you withdraw your consciousness from this body, your attention from the body, you go into that plane, you can see all the heavens and hells out there. They are meant for different experiences, just like this world is meant for different experiences. And you can be punished there, and you can be rewarded there too, to spend some time in heaven. So once you do too much good, you don't come back to get reward here, you get a reward in heaven. You do too much bad, you go there for spending some time in hell. So these are, some people, of course, don't want to go there, they make life hell or heaven right here. So this very life, people can make life hell or heaven. And that is also a way of punishment and reward through the law of karma. The law of karma also includes that if you are able to keep living in the will of God, if you go with the flow, that means do not express your intention at all. Say, whatever the circumstances tell me, I will do. Whatever I believe is God's will, He has placed in front of me, I will do. By doing that, you create no karma. So one can, theoretically speaking, lead a life with no karma by living in God's will, living in the will that is dictated by God or the Creator or some higher power, and not using our own individual willpower, our own individual free will to decide what to do. But if you decide to have a karma-free life like that, there is plenty of reserved karma in our sinchit, in our reserve, and we can pull out enough for this to make another life. The advantage of an initiation by a perfect living master, one of the biggest advantages from the point of view of law of karma is that when you are initiated by a perfect living master, he destroys at that very moment your entire reservoir of sinchit. Therefore, that can never be used. No accumulation of old karma can be used to create a new life for you. Therefore, if any second life has to come after this one, it will only be based upon the karma you create in this life. And if you are leading a life of living in the will of God, in the will of circumstances around you, you don't come back again at all. It's a very good advice given to us that if you are initiated by a perfect living master, try not to add up more burden of karma on your life, either good or bad, and therefore make your journey back to your true home in this very same life. Anybody following the instructions of a perfect living master after initiation is bound to go back to the true home in this very life. But if you cannot follow and you are still distracted by the world, distracted by the temptations and other activities of the world, you may have to come one more life, but that life will be based only on your actions and intentions of this life. So it will be much better than any previous life or even this life. So that is why you don't stay too long after initiation by a perfect living master. If you follow the instructions, this is your last life. You can be sure of going back home in this very life. If you cannot follow the instructions, you may come for one life. But if you completely leave the path and say, no, I don't believe in any of this, you completely leave the path and don't believe in anything, you may have to come third life, but the second life will be much better than this. If you go against the master, crucify him, go against him, you may have to come in the fourth life. Nobody will go beyond the fourth life after initiation by a perfect living master. So this is a very, in terms of the law of karma, where we are bound down here for millions of lifetimes, for ages after ages, it's a big event to be initiated by a perfect living master and to get this kind of advantage, which we only discover when we go within and find out what did we get. People ask me, how do we know we got initiated by a master? Were we really initiated? Because we don't feel like that. We don't feel we got anything. Well, you can never feel and know something. You have to go within and find out if you're initiated. Initiation does not take place here. Initiation takes place at the third eye center behind the eyes, and it takes place at a place where you're going to meet the master, who after initiation is always waiting to see you there. So therefore, if you want to be sure, are you initiated? Go within and check it out. It's not a matter of blind faith at all. On this path of the great master that I am talking about, there is no room for blind faith at all. That you do not have to have any belief in anything. It does not also mean that you should reject something because you haven't seen it yourself. Somebody else says, I have seen it. Would you like to see it? I don't believe in it. Well, how do you know? You don't believe in it because you haven't tested it out. Therefore, it is not necessary to believe anything anybody says till you see it yourself. That's requirement on this path, that you only proceed with your faith, with your belief system, based upon your own personal experience. Personal experience adds up gradually, slowly and slowly. But there are two ways of judging progress on this path. One, are you feeling less angry day by day? Are you feeling less attached and yet more loving to people? Are you feeling that you are not so greedy about things as you were? Are you feeling that you are not so lustful as you were before? Are you feeling you are not so egoistic or haughty as before? If these signs come into your life, and sometimes they come slowly, and you may not see it, other people start telling you, we see a remarkable change in you, what happened? So these are external signs of making progress within. The inner progress is when you are able to do meditation and not be distracted too much, when you can sit for a reasonable period of time without your mind running out, then you can get the advantage of repetition of the mantra that a master gives, and the mantra becomes automatic for you. You make a habit so you don't have to repeat the mantra. Mantra goes on all the time. And then when you're able to hear the inner sound, the sound that pulls you, that the sound can be heard at all times, and becomes part of your life. Whatever you're doing, the simran or repetition and the sound are going on all the time. You don't have to do anything. You're in a state of meditation, whatever you are doing. Also, when your mind continuously thinks of the master, feels that missing of the master, feels love and devotion for the master, and gets more and more feeling of that kind, it's also progress on the spiritual path. There are so many ways in which the changes take place in us, both externally and internally. Now this question of internal and external comes up again and again, because people say, it is my duty to do certain things. I can't ignore them just for the sake of this meditational practice, because at this time the duties look more real than what we might get with meditation. Therefore, the masters have never said, give up your duties here. They have said, in Indian terminology, that karma has to be matched and balanced with dharma. Dharma is duty, and karma is what you have to go through in life. So when you go through life, the karma, which is based on your destiny, and those events are taking place in your life, what is your duty at every point? Something happens, you have a family, you have children. That's your karma. You got them. What is your dharma? To take care of them. You have a job to do, and the job has been given to you to make an earning. That's the job clearly in your life. Then what is your duty? To do it well. Do it as skillfully as possible. Therefore, there is a balance between karma and dharma. There's a balance between the events that take place in our life and what our duty is, how to perform them. So karma is a very deep philosophy. It explains a lot of things. It explains many facts of life and also gives us direction, how to handle it. So to lead a karma-free life, we have to live in the will of whose will do we live in? We say will of God. We say will of the Creator, will of any other name we give to a higher power, will of our own higher self. We want to separate ourselves from the will in which we have to live. Ultimately, it's our own will. Then what's the difference between saying will of God and saying your will? The difference is when you say your will, you're not talking of your will. You're talking of your mind's will. Mind's will is different. And if you follow the mind's will, you're not following your will or God's will. Your will, your spiritual will, your soul's will and God's will is the same at all times. But the mind's will is different. So that is why they say one who continuously follows mind's will, we call him manmukh, a follower of the mind. And those who follow the inner voice of their own self, master, God, they call gurmukh, the follower of the guru. So they say you can have two kinds of pathway in performing your duty in life. You can be a manmukh, a follower of your mind. You can be a gurmukh, a follower of God. Rumi was once asked, how do we know what is God's will? Isn't everything God's will? We have been created here by God. It's His will that is prevailing everywhere. How do we distinguish between our will or our mind's will and God's will? Isn't everything God's will? He said, no. When your mind is active, He separates you from God. Why are you different from God today? Do you realize why? Only because of your mind. What is separating you from God today? Your own mind. Nothing else is coming in the way except your own mind. Therefore, if you want to follow God's will, Rumi says, it's not difficult. If God has given you a spade in your hand, dig, that's His will. If God has given a pen in your hand, write, that's His will. If God has given you a job to do it, that is His will. If you're placed in circumstances where you're required to do something, do it as best as you can. You are following God's will. But if your mind says, no, I don't want to do this, I want to dilly-dally, want to turn this over, then that's mind's will. So this distinction has been made because if you live in God's will and act according to the circumstances and coincidences that happen around you, you are not creating karma because there is no personal mental intention involved. But if your mind gets involved and makes an intention, no, I don't want to do this, I want to do this, no, I don't think that should be done. If your mind gets involved, it becomes a mental decision and creates karma. So there is a way to lighten the burden of our karma, especially for those who are on the spiritual path, especially those who have been initiated by a perfect living master on the spiritual path, that the less karma they create, the more they live in the will, the more they live in the circumstances in which they are placed, the more they live and get signs from coincidences and circumstances around them, the better for them, they'll go back home in this very life. And there are some people who say, we don't want to go back so quickly. Let them stay. It's not that there is bound down that you must go now. There is no compulsion involved in this. It is your seeking. It's your path. If you want to seek and go home quickly, go home quickly. Because if you want to take advantage of the various beauties and sightseeing over here, do it. There's a lot of sightseeing inside also. There's a lot more sightseeing to be done at the astral plane than there is the physical plane. So if you really want to spend a few thousand years in sightseeing, a good place is the astral plane. Our body has a very limited life. This physical body, very short in terms of cosmic time, in terms of millions and billions of years we talk about. What is 80, 150 years? Nobody lives, I haven't heard anybody living even 150 years. Such a small speck of time in this whole span of time that's available around us. How can we do much in this small time? This is a very limited time we have got. And we, to take advantage of this limited time, we have to act quickly and make our decisions based upon our seeking as quickly as we can, not lose any time. Of course, in the astral plane, where we have only sensory systems, the sensory system that you experienced when you could eat, drink, and look at flowers without the use of any senses of the body. That body of yours, which is all sense perceptions, that body has a much longer life. Some people call it the soul. Those who do not know there is anything beyond that, they think the soul moves from one body to another and reincarnation is of the soul. The word soul is being used for the astral body, the sensory body, because that sensory body itself has an average life based upon physical time of 1,000 to 3,000 years. So you have been many times in the same astral body, same sense perceptions in different bodies here. But if you go higher up to the causal self, where the mind is your body, where the mind has a much bigger life, it ranges from 3 to 5 million years. So in physical time. So that means one mind comes again and again into so many forms. And the mind, the collector of all your memories, the storehouse of all your memories, is the same for a very long time. Therefore, when you go back and realize who you are, at every stage you can get your memories back of that stage. You realize you have been here for a very long time, that you are not here just for 50, 100 years, that you have been here for a very long time. The higher you go, the longer the period you have spent here, the longer the life here is. And there's so much to see at that level. It's not a question of just little sightseeing here and we want to spend more time. You can spend thousands of years in sightseeing and in looking at things around. So I know there are some people very artistic. They like to look at beauty outside, beauty inside. They stay for a long time in the astral plane. What happens to the initiates who want to spend a little time there? The master always stays with them so long as they like to stay. Master, after initiation, never leaves a disciple who has been initiated by that master. That form of the master remains no matter how long it takes. So therefore, when you go in yourself and see some of your friends there, and see friends who you think had died and gone long ago, and who are still enjoying their life there, doing various kinds of things which they were doing here, and which they are now perfecting there. You see those people, those souls over there in their astral form, then you see that some of them have been there for a very long time and are pursuing those things which they could not achieve here. But their desires have to be fulfilled at that stage before they move forward. So therefore, they are fulfilling some of the desires there, but they had to move out from here because they were not interested in this world of greater duality than that world is, and therefore you can meet them staying for long periods. Karma can be created only when you have an experience of free will, when you have an intention to decide between options available to you. Karma is never created any other way. Just by having events in life, you don't create karma. You pay off karma. Karma can be created only in human life with human intention. It can be paid off in several ways. It can be paid off in human life. It can be paid off in 8.4 species of life, starting from the plants right up to insects, animals, mammals. And it can also be paid off in the astral world. It can also be paid off as angels and gods. It can be paid off right up to Trikuti, up to the causal stage. Now imagine a human being in a short span can create so much karma that there is so much room to pay off. This means how active our minds have become. Our minds are active, continuously expressing intention. Even if they don't lead to action, the intention itself is creating the karma. And we keep on storing it, and then the payoff is long, and we can pay off all over. There are, of course, ways, as I said, initiation by a perfect living master who initiates because he is constantly in all the regions, including his true home. When he initiates, he does not initiate as a human being sitting with us. He initiates from the true home itself, to which we belong also. But we are unaware. He puts the pathway to that awareness in us at that time. When he does that, when he initiates, the Sinchit karma is gone, karma becomes very limited, and it becomes so easy for us to go. From his point of view, he has cleared so much hurdle in front of us. The second way to clear is through meditation. Meditation also clears up karma. The third is to be in the company of a master. That clears up karma. In one of the poems from the Sikh scripture, Guru Granth Sahib, which I like, and which says, Jo mange, some of you might have heard that, soi wo deve, but then in the third stanza it says, Kant laye avgun sab mete. If he gives you a hug, he cuts off so much of your karma and so much of the negativity in you that you remove a lot of karma at that time. So therefore, there are several ways in which this karma, a huge chunk of karma, is being removed from our life, and therefore life becomes easier. The effect can be felt within this life. It's not that we have to wait. It's not religion. The spiritual path, the Sant Mat, is not religion at all. It does not have the same do's and don'ts that religions have. The only do is go within. And it applies to all religions. It applies to everybody. It does not exclude anybody. All humanity is open to do it. There's no restriction of which group you belong to. There are no groups in the pure Sant Mat. We human beings start making groups of them. There are no groups, there are no societies, there's nothing. It's open to all human beings. And without regard to nationality, color of the skin, gender, age, it doesn't matter. The gift has been placed within us as human beings. It's a gift given by the Creator. It's a part of the system of creation and a part of how to get out of it. It's not reserved for anybody special. There is nobody special on this path. We are all special. Nor is God not equally placed in all of us, nor is reality placed unequally amongst us. We are all equally endowed, equally blessed in this matter. So don't mistake this path to be a religion. Because sometimes people tell me, oh, I used to be a Christian, but now I'm a Radha Swami. I didn't know Radha Swami is a new religion. Maybe I used to be that, but now I follow this path. So I changed my religion to the path of masters. I didn't know they start regarding it as religion. But that is how quickly we try to make a path, which is a pure experimental path to discover yourself. And open to everybody, we make it into a religion. Oh, I go to satsang regularly. I go to listen to discourse every Sunday. Previously, I used to go to mass in the church. Now I go here. It's just a substitution for religion. That's not the purpose at all. You don't have to change religion. You don't have to make any change except follow the advice of your own religion. What does it say? Go within. The kingdom of God is within you. The entire truth is within you. Go within and find out. Where is religion in that statement? No, all religions use it. But then they ultimately start saying, well, we need and this particular thing, we can pray for you, we can make a building for you, we can do this for you. All external things come up, and the truth of going within our own temple, our own body, is lost. So religion deviates like that from spirituality. But the law of karma requires that we forget about these divisions which we have made. The law of karma says we are all equal. And we will find we are so equal, we don't even know today. Our bodies are different. Our sense perceptions are different. Our minds are different. Our souls are not different at all. There's no difference in the soul. Every soul is the same. It's the same unit of consciousness that's embedded into these bodies and has different karma, different life, and different events happening in their life. So when we reach our spiritual self, we find we were all the same. There was no difference. And if you go a little higher, you find not only we were the same, we were one. And the whole experience is taking place within that one. Amazing thing is that this is all possible to achieve, to realize. It's not something to learn, it is something to realize within yourself. It's something to actually go within and experience it. It can be done. Nothing is coming in the way except our own mind. Nothing comes in the way except our own questions and our thinking, oh, can I do it? Should I do it? Not do it? Is this the way? Is that the way? It's our own mind coming in the way. There's nothing else coming in the way. Nobody else is stopping us. It's not an external fight at all. It's a fight with our own mind. There's no obstruction to our path except our own mind. Then we can learn how to give instructions to our own mind. Then we can learn to be master of our mind. All the obstruction disappear. And we have a smooth journey back to our true home. That's why the law of karma contains within itself the opportunity to have this human life, and in human life to have the seeking, and seeking to go back. We programmed it. We did a good job. We programmed that when we are ready, we should be able to get out. And what's the method? Because otherwise there is no way to get out of this cycle. Here we get trapped every time we come. With the use of our mind, identification with our mind, we are thinking that is us. The mind is us. We get more attached, more desires, more attached in things outside, and we can't get rid of it. So the arrangement we have made is, let somebody come in our life at the right time and be a friend, be a guide, be one that we can feel something connected to, where we can speak soul to soul, not mind to mind, not language to language, but soul to soul, where we can feel so deep that there is a connection here that we can follow, and that person should have our awareness of our true home and share in such a way that we become co-travelers and go back home. Programmed very well. And are also because of a lot of karma that we go through. When we pick up our DVDs from the Akashic records, we make sure that that is at the end, because we were seekers. This universe has been set up in such a strange way to give it permanence. The soul is permanent, immortal. It has never born, never dies, because it's beyond time. Time was created to put this experience in, and before time, soul was still there. So therefore it's immortal. Our totality is immortal. The word, the sound we are talking of is immortal. It was never created, will never die. These things are immortal, sitting right in front of us, right here. All the rest is just created for time. All the rest of the universes are created within a certain time. They come, they are sustained, and they go back, and they're dissolved, and they're finished. So in this, we accumulate a lot of karma, and not all life forms, not all these units of consciousness, which we call souls, are all here. Very small number are here. And very small number circulate into this physical world and have a physical free will and the ability to go back. The rest of them are all spread out in different forms of creation. Bulk of them, most of them, the many created from the one, are in their true home right now. They never left the home. They are enjoying the bliss of being many in one. That's a great joy. They are experiencing love because they are many in one. There's no better place to love than that. No better place to have bliss than that. So they are in a blissful state. A rough calculation is that about 90% of created manies, created souls, are there. 10% are hovering around in these other regions, including us. We are a very small fraction. But we are having an experience those 90% are not having. So what happens when we go back home and meet those colleagues of ours, other souls we meet there, and they are in bliss. And we dance like nobody's business there, because we are in greater bliss than them. And they say, what's so special about you? We are all in the same place. We are all living in Sachkhand, our true home. How are you jumping so high and feeling so much better than us? And we tell them, you don't know what you're missing, because they've never seen this side. They don't know what it is. Therefore, one of the big purpose of creation, the very, very fundamental purpose of creation was to give an opposite experience, to appreciate our true state, where we are always immortal, much better than us. Therefore, this word is very important, appreciation. We are created to appreciate. Appreciate what? Our own state. And therefore, appreciation is a key word to explain why we are here. To appreciate our own state. Some people say, we pray to God and ask for so many things. God, give us this. God, take care of this. God, take care of our problem. We don't ever say, God, what do you want from us? Hardly ever somebody says, God, I've been praying for so many things from you all my life. I never prayed, God, tell me what you want from me. If you did pray, God will say only one word, appreciate. Appreciate what I've given you. Appreciation is all they want. We go to masters and say, Master, help us with this thing. Go and check with the master and ask him, Master, we have been always asking things from you. What do you want from us? He'll say one word, appreciation of what you have got. Just your love is enough gift for me. Your love and devotion is the best gift I can get. You can't give anything better than that. So this is a different relationship than we are used to in our physical life here. So the karmic patterns in which we are living here, they are so designed that within karma, we can work out our way back. When the karma is great, that's what they say, that when the karma is great, then we meet a perfect living master. It itself is the greatest karma to be able to see a perfect living master. And it's the greatest of all karma to be initiated by a perfect living master. So that's how they explain it. Very happy now to take up some of the questions that you wrote and placed in a box. I don't know if many of you know that George Bernard Shaw was a very witty English writer. And Churchill was a very strong prime minister at that time. They both were living together. Their wit was something like this. George Bernard Shaw wrote to Churchill, Dear friend, I am having my performance of my play today, and you are invited to come, and you can bring a friend if you have any. Churchill replied, I'm sorry I can't attend your play today, but I'll certainly attend tomorrow if there is any.
Dear Ishwa, what to do about physical ailments or bodily pain that result distracting during meditation? Thank you.
We get our physical ailments, illnesses, bodily pains and aches, all from our own karma. And they come at all times, including when we meditate. If we are sick, it's difficult to meditate. If you're healthy, it is easier to meditate. So it's good to maintain your health as best as you can in order to be better meditators also. And what to do with that? Take something like aspirin. Some other good painkiller. I mean, we are not going to be living in a hermitage that we don't have access to these modern medicines, or we have alternative remedies. So whatever is available to us to treat our bodies, take it and keep in as good a health as you can. Modern medical services have improved a lot, and we should take advantage of them. And that will keep good health, pain-free, and then you don't need to say you can't meditate because you have bad health, because you're taking the medicines required. Of course, there are some aches and pains that come in the body just because of meditation. Now, those are different, because if you are chatting with somebody, having a gossip, those aches and pains don't come. But when you meditate, then you suddenly feel my legs are paining. That's because the mind is trying to avoid meditation. And we have to overcome it by saying, no, I have to meditate, and draw your attention as quickly as you can to the third eye center. Pain will not be felt.
This question contains 3 parts, and we translated it together because it is from
Swedish?
Switzerland. From Switzerland.
Okay.
Does a perfect living master exist on earth, and where is he? How can I really directly, without deviations, return to God? I had some masters in my life, and I nearly didn't proceed. Is a spiritual teacher or master really needed to proceed?
The first part of the question is, do perfect living masters exist on this earth? Yes. Not one, there could be more than one, but one always. Has always there been one on this earth. But there are sometimes more, but not too many. The maximum that ever have been 7, 8, not more than that, at one time on this planet. Because they come when you have exhausted the journey up to certain points with other masters, and they come for the final lap when you want to go to your true home, and they are always there. And they come in your life when you are ready to proceed to that level. A perfect living master is needed in order to go beyond the mind. Otherwise, all our efforts to go within, to be on a spiritual path, are with our mind. And the mind does not go beyond the mental regions. And therefore, you can sometimes go with partial help, with your own strong willpower to some levels. But nobody has ever crossed the mental levels without a perfect living master, a master who is operating from beyond the mind. And therefore, if you want to go to your true home, a perfect living master is a must. Let's try today meditation behind the eyes with love and devotion, where you visualize your beloved and you express your love to the beloved in the best way you can and see the results of it. Please assume that your body is your house and you are sitting on the 6th floor of that house behind the eyes. First, establish yourself in the meditation chamber behind the eyes, then visualize your beloved, then start any kind of meditation you want, including Simran, listening to the sound, or conversation with the Master.